Hello everybody and welcome back to another airport update, this one for the month of March 2025. Last month we took a bit of a look into a throwback update for Portsmouth, that being mid to late 2010s. This one we're back in 2025 to the current timeline, current most modern up-to-date airport update rather. And yeah, lots of stuff going on in this update. Time frame is a weekday later on in the afternoon, and the traffic reflects that, as well as there being some severe thunderstorms in the area of southern Ohio and the greater Midwest region. So there are some diversions, most notably the the big boy in the room. But without any further delay, I'll explain all that as we go along. Let's go ahead and get started with the update. We're going to go ahead and start at not hangar, Terminal A, it's been a minute since I've done this. We're going to be starting at Terminal B over here. And we're going to start at gate B5, where there is a United Express CRJ 550 operated by GoJet. This aircraft arrived in on one of two daily flights from Chicago O'Hare, this one being the evening flight. And it just barely made it in on time, and baggage was unloaded, and the aircraft is getting more catering loaded on board before the return flight to Chicago. That departure is expected to be delayed due to thunderstorms in the area and along the flight path on the way up to Chicago. Moving over to B4, we have another CRJ, this one being a CRJ 700, operated by Endeavor Air on behalf of Delta Airlines. This aircraft is delayed itself. Supposed to depart approximately 2 hours ago, but it is now getting pushed back and is going to give it a shot to head up to Detroit DTW, and once again, due to thunderstorms in the upper northwest, or not northwest, Midwest, like in the Chicago, northern Indiana, Michigan, and stretching down to Cincinnati and northern Kentucky area. Unfortunately, that is causing some delays. But this flight is now on the pushback and will make an attempt to head up to Detroit. Get an empty gate B3, which will be occupied shortly, but next to it, we have another Delta aircraft, that being an Airbus A319 at gate B2, which is typically a Southwest gate. This aircraft is occupying the gate because it is also a diversion, along with the more notable figure you saw earlier in that first bit. This aircraft was heading from Atlanta to Columbus CMH, just north of Portsmouth, and was subject to diversion due to the thunderstorms up there in Columbus, just approximately a 20-minute hop up the way. Somehow within the southern Ohio Valley, Portsmouth is unaffected by these storms due to just the way the weather pattern has worked out. So this aircraft is in Portsmouth for kind of just a quick little stopover before the weather kind of gets better up in Columbus, before it will be making its flight from Portsmouth up to Columbus. And victim of the delays that are happening to most aircraft on the update today, this Southwest 737 MAX 8 came in from Denver, Colorado, and was supposed to head back out to Denver, but because of ramp closures due to lightning in the area, this aircraft was unfortunately delayed and is just finished being fueled. The tug is pulling up to the aircraft now, and this aircraft will be pushed back for the flight to Denver, Colorado. Coming over here to the signature FBO ramp, we have this NetJets Challenger 600. This aircraft arrived in from Fort Lauderdale down there in Florida, and will be making a flight across the country to Seattle Boeing Field. after it is fueled and the packs are loaded on board. Next to the Challenger, we have this Phenom 300. This operated a flight from Pittsburgh Allegheny County Airport, and this aircraft will be departing to Knoxville, TYS in a matter of hours. Here we have a, I've called these Gulfstream G650s previously, and I believe that's what Jet Set Models claims they are. Although, for all intensive purposes, from here on out, they will be G500s actually. And yeah, because I do plan on getting a more accurate G650 model from a seller on eBay, so as to be able to use them both and they not look too insanely different from each other while also trying to represent the same aircraft. These will just be G500s, and the ones I'm planning to buy will be the G650s. But besides that, here we have a G500 of private owner, no real operator, just straight up private G500. This aircraft arrived in from Memphis, Tennessee, and it will be departing to Waco, Texas after the PAX is boarded. Over here we have a Air Wisconsin CRJ 200 being operated for charter purposes today. This aircraft arrived in from Richmond, Virginia, and will be departing back to Richmond, Virginia tomorrow after the college team in which it brought into town is completed their game against the Shawnee State Bears basketball team. And moving on to the corner, don't mind the Pilatus, it's kind of tail heavy, as you can see, in that spot specifically for whatever reason. But here we have a private Pilatus PC-12. This aircraft arrived from Lebanon Warren County Airport over there in Warren County, Ohio, and is just overnighting. No planned departure destination at this time. And right there we have another Ohio short hop private aircraft. If I can get the camera to focus. Here we have a Cessna. Oh man, it's been a while since I've done YouTube. It's been since last month's update, I want to say. But anywho, we have a private Cessna Citation Encore. This aircraft arrived in from Dayton MGY, Dayton Wright Brothers Airport, and it has no planned departure at this time. Now we're going to move on to Terminal A. From Terminal A, we're going to go ahead and start at Gate A1, which has kind of been used as a hard stand for the American Eagle Dash 8 100s, which are operated on behalf of, or operated by Air Appalachia, my fictional airline that is based here in Portsmouth. And the first one we have here, first of two, we have a Dash 8 100, of course, in the standard American Eagle livery. This aircraft arrived in from Beckley, West Virginia, and it is being loaded up currently for its next hop over to Pittsburgh PIT in Pennsylvania. And the second Dash 8 already taxiing out to the runway. This aircraft arrived in from Pike County, Kentucky, and it will be departing to, or it is currently departing to Charleston, West Virginia. Next up on the taxiway, we have this private Cessna Citation Encore heading out to Atlanta PDK today. And moving on to Gate A2, we have new airline. This airline's inaugural happened last month, but of course, it was a throwback update last month, so it wasn't included. But here we have an Alaska Airlines Boeing 737-900 wearing the One World livery. This aircraft arrived in from none other than Seattle Tacoma, SeaTac, and that is where it will be heading back off to. So far, this flight has proven to be very successful in lore, and Alaska Airlines is actually planning on operating a second daily flight, one in the morning and one in the evening, to connect Portsmouth to the Pacific Northwest. And moving on to gate A3, we have an American Eagle CRJ 200 operated by Air Wisconsin. This aircraft arrived in from St. Louis, Missouri, and this aircraft will be overnighting here in Portsmouth. It has served all of its routes for the day. Tomorrow it has a departure filed for Charlotte CLT. Next door, we have an American Eagle CRJ 700 currently being loaded up for a flight to Washington Reagan, DCA. And we have next door at gate A5, an American A321 in the PSA Heritage livery. This aircraft arrived in from Dallas, Texas, and is being unloaded, and catering is being brought on board for its return flight to Dallas, DFW. And next to that, we have arriving in from Charlotte, North Carolina, if it wants to focus, an American Airbus A320, and this aircraft will be doing a return leg to Charlotte after it is turned around. And if we want to go over to runway real quick, the lone runway, which is actually in reverse ops today. They're using 3.6 for takeoffs and landings rather than 1.8. We have this American Airbus A319 with the sharklets on departure, or just lifting off from runway 36, and it is bound for Phoenix, Arizona today. And just getting off the runway, kind of a close one here, but Tower didn't expect them to do a full roll considering they are just a 717. That 717 being Delta Airlines on one of the couple daily flights from Atlanta ATL. It is just pulled off the runway and will be taxiing over to gate B3, where it will undergo services and will be turned around back for the return to Atlanta. Over here at the maintenance hangar, we have an Air Appalachia 737-800, formerly of Hapag-Lloyd Airlines in Germany, if you couldn't tell by the livery. This aircraft had most recently arrived in from Asheville, North Carolina on a charter flight, and it has no plans of departure at the moment. And moving on to the last aircraft of the update, the biggest and probably most exciting visitor, this Boeing 747-8 of Atlas Air in the Apex Logistics hybrid livery. This aircraft has lots of personnel around it and emergency services, not because it was necessarily an emergency landing, but this aircraft is once again a diversion. This aircraft was originally flying from Tokyo Narita to Cincinnati CVG, and this aircraft had to divert here to PTS due to ongoing thunderstorms in the Cincinnati area. And this marks the first time that a 747-8 has actually been to PTS in lore, and actually I do believe this is the first time I've ever put a 747-8 model on this layout, other than when I was building it to test the scales and make sure that it made sense that a 748 could come here. But yeah, this aircraft arrived in direct from Tokyo Narita and is undergoing just customs checks and whatnot before weather is lifted in Cincinnati and it can return to its destination of original intent. And with that, y'all, I believe that covers everything on this update. If you like it, of course, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe if you haven't already. This layout specifically with all of the various GSC and ground workers and cones, and I just want to say this aircraft, or this layout, takes a good minute to set up, and I wish I could have it out permanently, but due to space limitations where I'm living currently, it's kind of has to be a thing where I can put out and pack up and kind of put away just for storage sakes. But hopefully that changes relatively soon in the near future, but because it has to be such a stowable layout, it does take a while for me to get all of this set up, so any support is, of course, appreciated. And yeah, that'll be all for this update, folks. Hopefully I get you another one in by the end of the month. I know I always say I'm gonna, but without fail, work or life gets in the way to where I can't get out the layout and put out everything for a video as often as I wish I could. But besides all that rambling, guys, I truly hope you enjoyed. Have a great one, y'all. I will see you in the next video.